The stock market's down again today, and Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon are threatening their lows. And I would be willing to predict that on the first week in February, when they all report their earnings, based on the advertising I'm seeing coming through my YouTube channel and the reactions to my sponsors, that they're going to have some disappointing earnings on February the 2nd. And their price will probably go down even further. But I want you to not focus on that. I want you to, if you wish, to get in a position to get your cash and your dividend stocks in a position that you can take advantage of this drop, because what's coming after that is enormous. And I want you to watch the video I did yesterday on how Google is going to make me a programmer. And I've learned more about that. I spent most of the night last night reading more about Google's DeepMind and their AlphaFold. And then I got into OpenAI's GPT-3. And I became aware of what this is all about. This is making artificial intelligence available to you and I always thought of artificial intelligence as going to be the gift to Apple, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. And then I realized it's going to change my world. I want to build a website. I want to change my existing website, Best of Us Investors, into a financial planning website. I've recognized that financial planning is no longer available to younger people because financial advisors basically charge a fee for service, and they base that fee on the amount that you invest with them. Well, if you have less than $500,000, they can't make any money on you. So they aren't taking you. They aren't offering you. Oh, Edward Jones may say you can come into the office and talk to us, but you aren't going to get much because they can't make money off of you. So I want to create a website that you can go to, and I can create a tutorial that basically teaches you everything that I know about financial advice and financial planning. And then I also want to give you the ability to ask me questions, and I give you immediate answers as to what is a 529 education program. What's the difference between a traditional IRA and a conventional IRA? I'm 32 years old. What should I have in the form of life insurance? I want to be able to answer those questions because you don't have access to that information through a financial advisor because you don't have enough money. And it's not being taught in schools. I mean, it may be taught in higher education, but do you have $50,000 to go to Harvard for a quarter and gain that knowledge? Probably not. But what if I told you that this company OpenAI is developing a system by which you can ask any question, and I can embed that into my website, and it can answer any question that you ask. Take a look at this. I signed up for it, and I went in and I asked them some questions, and you're going to see that I'm going to ask the question, and you're going to see the answer they give back, and it's better than any answer you'll get from any financial advisor. Watch this. The first question I asked was, what is the contribution limits on a Roth IRA? And you can see here the answer that it fed back to me in a matter of seconds. Isn't that amazing? Then I asked another question, and that I asked was, what is a 529 education program? And watch what it does. It thinks, it searches, it's searching Google, it's searching anything and everything, and then it gives me an answer. Can you imagine the power of this and what it can do to your world and my world? Now, if you watched my video yesterday, you also got introduced to Google's DeepMind and their alpha code. This is a derivative or a variance on what OpenAI is doing. And I want you to think about the possibilities of this. I wrote this book. It's called Tall Grass. It's about the first 14 years of my life, and I wanted it because I wanted to leave something behind. I didn't know much about my grandfather because he never left anything behind, not even pictures. Maybe I could find one picture of him. But I wanted my grandchildren to know who Kerry was and what he was all about. And I published it actually on Amazon, Amazon Kindle, and a friend of mine, a junior high school friend, got a hold of a copy of it and read it, and he wrote me, and again, this was about 10, 12 years ago. His name was French, and that was his first name. And French said, "Hey, I've read your book. I've been toying with writing a screenplay. Would you mind if I adapted your book into a screenplay?" And I was flattered, and I said, "Sure, I'd be happy to do that, French. Why don't you?" Well, nothing happened with it, and I never gave it much thought. And then yesterday, I went to OpenAI, and I spent about 2 hours on their website. And what I learned is they are developing a program such that I could take this book and I could get the manuscript for it, and I could feed it to their OpenAI program and say, rewrite the book for me. Rewrite it as a screenplay that I can submit to a producer. Yeah. It'll clean up all my misspelled words or all my poor grammar. It will even develop the character in more detail than I have done. I was on a webinar with the author of this book, Peter Dizraptor, and Peter was talking to a guy by the name of Jeremy. And Jeremy said, "I'm an amateur poet, and I went to OpenAI, and I gave a first line of a poem that I wanted to write. And it fed me back a complete poem that was better than what I could do." I immediately thought of Elton John and Bernie Pappas or something like that. And Elton, as I understand it, writes music, sends the music to Bernie, and Bernie writes the lyrics. That's exactly what OpenAI is. That you have an idea. They take all the knowledge. They have a program called Da Vinci, and if you want a new logo, or they show where a private grammar school wanted a new logo, and they just sent in their ideas, verbal. And then they fed that to this program, Da Vinci, and it came back with a logo and created a whole story about the school and the logo just from less than a paragraph of information. So what does this all mean? This means that if you're a female and you have a song lyric and you want to become the next Taylor Swift, you will go to one of these programs, OpenAI's GPT-3, or possibly DeepMind's, which is owned by Google, Alpha Code, and it'll do it for you. It'll be your co-pilot. You merely come up with the idea in artificial intelligence. And then again, remember what this is. This is all the data that Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft have collected over the last 40 years and putting it at your disposal and saying to you, Kerry, if you've got an idea, we'll help you turn it into an enterprise. And I am going to take my website, Best of Us Investors, and I am going to become the financial planning website of the world so that you don't have to have $500,000 to get in front of a financial advisor who doesn't have the knowledge that is sitting at Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. They have more knowledge than any financial planner, than any financial institution in the world, and it's going to be at your disposal. And that's not just, financial planning is just my element of it. I want you to go to bed tonight and say, what is my passion? What is it I want to do? How can I take the information that Carrie just gave me? And please go to OpenAI's website. Spend an hour on it. Ask it questions. And you come back and you tell me why you can't be anything you want to be. If you want to be Taylor Swift or Elton John, or you want to be Mark Twain, it's there. It's available. So as the market goes down today, you celebrate this weekend. You just celebrate because Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft are coming down in price because what they're going to bring you in the future is going to blow your mind. And the profits they're going to make, because they are going to give you the opportunity to become whatever dream you have, because they're going to give you access to the knowledge of the world. All you have to have is an idea. So, got a little excited, didn't I? But, folks, this is Celebrate Week as the stock market goes down, because you're going to be able to invest in a new world. What the world is going to look like in 5 years is going to be unrecognizable. And if you're a young person and you have ambitions and you feel you understand your limitations, push them to the side, because there will be no limitations. This is going to become a creator's world. I have always thought, I'm a recovering Catholic. I always thought when you said the creator, I thought you were talking about God. And maybe you were. But starting today, the creator is you. And you can be anything you want to be. And as far as an investor, if you want more insight, more information, more in-depth, you know where to find me. And that is subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notified, and then come to my club, come to my community, come to my Discord, come to my Friday. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, I'm going to have a meeting with my tribe members, and guess what we're going to talk about? I'll talk to you again tomorrow. My God, the world is opening up like an oyster. Peter